voice of Indonesia.
You're still tuned to the voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. A lot of things related to Indonesia is still on discussion in our broadcast, and one of them that is being rained upon so many people is that about Indonesia joining the BRICS. And to talk about how this benefits Indonesia and what can Indonesia play in this BRICS itself, we will be talking with the expert of international relations, Mr. Hikmahanto Juwana. Good morning, Pak Hikmahanto.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Okay, sir, Indonesia just got the recognition from BRICS. Everyone, the whole world sees it, and I would like to know what is your comment about it?
Well, of course, Indonesia now has become the member of BRICS because on 7th of January this year, the president of BRICS, which is now chaired by President of Brazil, announced that Indonesia has become a full member of BRICS. Of course, we need to take the advantage and try to optimize our membership at BRICS. How can we do that? Well, first of all, let me tell you this. The economic world order are mainly decided by the G7 countries. This includes the US and other European countries, member of G7. Of course, we do not have the alternative, or the world does not have the alternative to have, another economic world order. Now, with the establishment of BRICS, of course, the world now have an alternative. And mind you this, BRICS countries are those who have, a huge populations. A huge population means that we have a huge market. Of course, this is going to be a threat to the G7 countries. But nevertheless, this is good for Indonesia. The advantage is we can shape policy of world economies, because if we are at the G7 countries still, it's going to be very difficult to shape the world economy's order. Now we have an ample opportunity, provided that Indonesia will have suggestion on policies to the world economic order, especially because Indonesia belongs to a third world countries. And of course, this is different from those member at the G7. Now, with this, of course, Indonesia can have contribution to the BRICS and how BRICS will shape the economic world order. That is one. Secondly, of course, with the great access of market, Indonesia will, can take advantage to this. And of course, another advantage that Indonesia wants to see is a lot of investors coming from countries of BRICS member to come to Indonesia. So those are the advantages that we can maximize by being at the BRICS, membership. However, I need to warn that the U.S. does not like, especially under President Trump, does not like BRICS, especially if BRICS is going to have a currency other than dollars. And Trump said that he will impose on 100% tariff. Now, we do not know whether this will be realized after Trump has become a president, just a few weeks ago. But we need to alarm ourselves that if that is going to happen, then what will the Indonesian economy would be? So this is something that we need to watch out.
And what kind of preparation that we need to do should that policy is implemented by Trump?
Well, of course, we need to know whether we are so dependent on the U.S. market. If we are dependent on the U.S. market, then we need to be very, very careful. But if we are not, then we can pursue the other currency, alternative currency, other than US dollars. But of course, we need at the BRICS unite on this pursuit, on this objective, because if we are going to talk and talk and talk and nothing realized, then it's not going to be beneficial for Indonesia. So we need to talk with our counterpart at BRICS, the timeline that we are going to realize this, policy. Again, we have to also understand that at the moment, Indonesia is applying to become member at the OECD. That means that we have to watch out also whether we are going to be accepted or we will be rejected. But again, this is something that I think the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other ministry that is relevant to look into this. They need to make a good assessment whether the US or other European countries will be hostile to Indonesia in this near future after we become a member of BRICS.
Okay, sir. And you say that if we keep just talking, not action, it will be, quote unquote, brings no benefit and also no effect. So how soon should we be taking action, all the BRICS member, including Indonesia?
Well, I don't have the timeline, but of course, as soon as possible. If BRICS can realize what are the objectives of the establishment of BRICS, and then they will pursue the policies that has been set. It is not going to be, something that is being suggested to the world, but never realized. I think it has to be as soon as possible, even though I cannot have the exact time or period when it's going to happen.
Okay, so we are expecting that. We do not know yet. We do not know the timeline yet, but we are all waiting for that. And listener, and also Pak Hikmahanto, before we continue, why don't we listen to this one first?
Voice of Indonesia.
Steps that we need to take, Indonesia should take, so that the effect of BRICS can be felt by the global community?
Well, I think we need to propose some policies that needs to be laid down by BRICS. We cannot just join the BRICS and then do nothing and then wait for other members of BRICS to have policies. You have to understand that Indonesia is the first Southeast Asian countries to join BRICS. So I think, the ministry within the Indonesian bureaucracy has to work on a paper that can become a policy for the BRICS to agree on. And we have to also mindful that, within the BRICS countries, of course, there's going to be rivalry. We know that China and India has some rivalry, and also, other BRICS member countries. So Indonesia, as a country that have a foreign policy of free and active, I think we need to propose, policies that can bind the members of BRICS, and then we have a say in BRICS. So it is not going to be very useful if Indonesia only join and then, only a sitting member of the BRICS.
Okay, but in proposing something like this, sir, do you think that Indonesia have the same position like all the BRICS member?
Well, again, as I said, of course, members of BRICS may have policies. They need to propose this policy to be agreed upon by the other member of BRICS. Now, if Indonesia take the initiative and Indonesia can come up with something that is common to the BRICS member. And this is a good policy that may give an alternative for the world, apart from what G7 have an alternative. I think this is something that Indonesia could do. And Indonesia then can be seen as a very active country within BRICS. And then we want to, quote unquote, change or give an alternative for the world economy. And I hope that other countries will follow, BRICS, or at least they will not dependent on the G7 countries' policy. Especially nowadays, the G7, the United States is under President Trump, and President Trump seems to be hostile with other countries, the neighboring countries, with Canada, with China, So the world needs to have an alternative. So I think BRIC is the answer, provided that BRICS have a good policy, a sound policy, an alternative policy, side by side with the G7.
Okay, sir. And also in joining the BRICS, what is the main challenge that Indonesia will face besides everything that we have discussed earlier?
Well, the main challenge, of course, for Indonesia to look itself, introspect, that our economy is sound, is resilient, and something that other countries will look into. But also, our entrepreneurs needs to expand their market, not only concentrating to Indonesia or other countries, traditional market for Indonesia, but other countries. And this is a challenge for the Indonesian entrepreneurs, so that they can invest, for example, in Africa. So we need to cooperate. The South and South cooperation needs to be pursued very actively. So and of course, again, as I mentioned, because this is something that is very new, we need to be aware that that this is going to work. The BRICS. With Indonesia becoming a member of BRICS.
Okay, sir, before we continue, well, let's take a short break. This break will be shorter, I promise you. We need to play this one song first. We have the sentiments Wana-Wani, and after this, we are still talking about BRICS. And also, besides the economy, maybe we will be talking about the other sectors that we can dive in this BRICS cooperation.
Voice of Indonesia.
We see that the whole world has a lot of organizations, and during this discussion we've talked about we need an alternative, and our guest said that BRICS will be an alternative to the existing organizations that quote unquote control the economic order in the globe. And still with the expert on international relations, Bapak Hikmahanto Juwana. And I'd like to know, sir, besides, we have been talking about economy, and people know that BRICS is mostly related to mutually beneficial investment and economic cooperation. But can we say that BRICS is also able or give space for Indonesia to push some global issues like peace, sustainable development, and climate change? Can we also say that?
Yes, of course. Indonesia can suggest on that issue. For example, on issues of climate change, we need to have the perspective of the third world countries, because a lot of climate issues that has been brought on the international platform. Mainly, it is European countries or developed countries' perspective. So we need to have the third world countries' perspective. That's one. Secondly, on resources, for example, recently we have an issue with European countries on our nickel. We hope that European countries can also look into. Well, we are hoping, when we have a dispute at the WTO, that the European countries understand and understood why Indonesia is restricting our nickel to be exported outside Indonesia. This is because mainly not you know China issue, but this is mainly because Indonesia needs to open up job markets, and if we send only the raw materials, then we cannot open up job markets. So this is something that, as a country, as a third world country, we experience this, and if we cannot be heard, our voice at the G7, then the alternative is we have to pursue this within BRICS, and so this is the good thing about BRICS for Indonesia, so that we can voice more our concern on issue of economy, climate change, raw materials, and many other things. Especially nowadays, what we heard, that BRIC is going to have its own bank, and hopefully, if it is being established, we have an alternative. Apart from, for example, World Bank or the IMF. That is, great thing about this BRICS.
And maybe this question I should ask this next question in the very beginning too, sir. As we know that BRICS is going to be an alternative, including not using dollar for our trade. So if we can quote unquote pick which currency that is recommended for us and BRICS, including Indonesia, need to use?
Well, first of all, within BRICS, we need to agree on which currency that we're going to use as an alternative. Is it going to be the Chinese renminbi, or is it going to be the Russian ruble? I don't know. We need to agree on this first. Secondly, if we have agreed within BRICS, then we have an alternative, meaning that we're not going to abandon the US dollars, but we're going to look which at certain transaction is going to be beneficial to our entrepreneurs. Whether is it going to be the currency that is being introduced by BRICS, or is it going to be US dollars? But at this moment we don't have any alternative, and everything will depend on the United States. Just a day ago, there's a Google making an error saying that $1 is 1,000. We were very happy about that, but unfortunately, it's an error. So it is unfortunate.
But it will be very fortunate if that really happens in the future with this BRICS cooperation, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. First, when I see at the Google, I was very surprised. Probably I thought that it is because of our cabinet, the 100 days that they have been very successful, and also the joining of Indonesia to BRICS, But unfortunately, this is not true. After a while, I look around, and then I saw that there's a clarification from the Google that it is an error.
Okay, sir, and of course, it will be a very nice thing if that really happen in the future. And I would like to ask you, sir, as a final question, what is your expectation by Indonesia joining in BRICS?
Well, my expectation is the world economic order will not be dominated by some countries. This is the world. So we need to have various values. So with the existence of BRICS, I hope that the world have an alternative. The world is not going to be dominated by one superpower. Yeah, and also what we need to see is we need to see much fairer world. So that is my expectation.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Hikmahanto Juwana. Thank you very much for joining us in the Voice of Indonesia. And we wish that your expectation, and of course, the 8,000 rupiahs for $1 can be realized in the future with this cooperation or maybe other moves. And thank you for joining us, and see you next time, Pak Hikmahanto.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Listener, that's the expert on international relations, Bapak Hikmahanto Juwana, and we talk about BRICS being the new stage for Indonesia, both in the economy and also so many other agendas. And if you want to listen again to this conversation, you can check the RRI digital mobile app or the YouTube VOI official.
Voice of Indonesia.